Breakfast show with Gina and Tom. But it's not just us in the studio at the moment. We are being joined by Kirsty Morgan. A very good morning to you, Kirsty.
Good morning, Gina. You okay?
We're very well, thank you. Now, it's Dementia Action Week this week. So we're highlighting lots of areas around dementia. Now, you're from the Alzheimer's Society, is that right?
That's right, yes. I'm the local services manager for the Alzheimer Society covering the West Wales area. So I look after 3 counties, Carmarthenshire, Ceredigion and Pembrokeshire.
And that's quite a big area, isn't it?
It is. We have 8 dementia advisors that work across the whole area.
That's fantastic. And what kind of support could someone expect to receive from these advisors?
Okay. Our dementia advisors provide practical support, emotional support. So that could be support with changes that are happening day to day, managing those changes, support to get in contact with professionals that can support as well. For us is being a point of contact for somebody affected by dementia, whether that's the person with the diagnosis or a carer or a friend. We hear for everyone throughout their dementia journey, so it might be that the person might not need us the whole time, but at those points throughout their journey where things do change, or if they've got any questions, then they can contact us then, and we'll be there to support them.
Yeah, and you mentioned the journey there. The focus of Dementia Action Week this week is about diagnosis, at the very beginning of the journey. So are you able to provide some guidance for those that might be concerned about risks and about signs or symptoms or changes in behaviour? Are you able to give an overview for us, please?
Yeah, of course. And our aim of doing this talk this morning is not to scare people, but just to raise awareness, of the most commonly dismissed and misunderstood symptoms of dementia. So if I just explain a little bit about dementia, the word dementia describes a set of symptoms that over time can affect someone's memory, problem solving, language and behaviour. Alzheimer's disease is the most common type of dementia. We have got people can access our website. If people are worried about their memory, then we've got a checklist online which can be printed off, and people can take that to their GP then to help them explain symptoms and get the support that they need. So we, even if people haven't got a diagnosis yet, we can support them through that process as well. So if somebody is worried about their memory, then we encourage them to get in touch with us, and we can advise then.
And Kirsty, where are those contact details with that form? Where would they need to go for that, please?
On our website is alzheimers.org.uk.
And one other thing, Alzheimer's and dementia doesn't actually affect just older people, does it? You could be any age.
That's right. It is more common in people over the age of 65, but yes, younger people are diagnosed with dementia as well. This is why it's important to go to a GP if you do have any concerns, to speak to them to find out what's happening. Some of the early signs to look out for could be asking the same question over and over again, forgetting names of loved ones or familiar places or objects regularly. People may find it hard to complete familiar tasks and maybe putting things in unusual places. There's lots of different symptoms, but if people are worried, we're encouraging them to go and speak to their GP. They can always ring us for information and advice as well.
Yeah. Because some of those symptoms, they can almost be a slow creep, can't they? Particularly if you're older and you think, I'm just older, this is my memory now, this is what it is. And it might not cause a problem on day-to-day life, but as if there is a deterioration, that can have significant impacts on being independent.
Yes, of course. And we hear it quite often. before managing the service, I was a dementia advisor myself, so supporting people on a daily basis where they say, "Oh, I'm forgetting. It's just a part of getting old," when it's not. You know, it's not a normal symptom of aging. So yeah, we encourage people, speak to your GP if you are concerned. Then speak.
If someone is either themselves, they've printed off your checker, they've gone to their GP, or a family or a friend or a loved one has printed it off and gone with them, we're like, look, do you mind just having a chat with the GP? What kind of questions can they expect to be asked, and what kind of process is likely to follow then towards that diagnosis step?
Usually the GP has their own tests that they will carry out, their own specific questions. What would happen then is that if there was, obviously if the GP identified concerns, then they would make a referral to the memory assessment service, with the consent of the person, for them to carry out further tests and investigations. They usually carry out things like blood tests as well at the initial stage, and we can support through that as well, because at this point people may have lots and lots of different questions. It can be scary, you know, getting that diagnosis and what it means for somebody moving forward, but if they've got somebody there who can advise and provide that information and support, it can make things a little bit easier.
Yeah. And there is a stigma when it comes to memory and just how your brain functions. There can be a stigma around that, and there's lots of imagery in the past of like electrodes and things like that. It's not necessarily as intrusive as that.
No, it's not. It's still a lot of stigma. Things are much better than previous years, but we are trying to eliminate that stigma, you know, and encourage people, if they are concerned, to go and speak to their GP.
Yeah, and of course, PAVs offer dementia-friendly training as well to further alleviate that stigma and raise that awareness and increase the knowledge of everyday people as well, to support those that may have the condition.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's great, yeah.
And once people have that, oh, go on, Gina.
No, I was going to say we are very fortunate here, I know, across the 3 counties, but in Pembrokeshire as well, that we have got so many things on a weekly basis, actually, that are going on to get everybody involved. People that are in the same situation, whether you're sort of with dementia, Alzheimer's, or whether you're that carer as well. You know, we have got a very good network, a family, as it were. You know, we are very lucky.
Yeah, it's great. The amount of activities and things that's going on in the Pembrokeshire area is fantastic, and that support is invaluable, you know, because it doesn't focus on the diagnosis. It focuses on the person, and they're able to continue doing things that they enjoy, you know. Yeah. And yeah, it's fantastic. Pembrokeshire are really lucky to have all that extra support then in place.
Yeah, I was going to say, because we've got, you know, sports, meeting up, talking about sports. We've got film days. There's out to lunch. There's afternoon teas. There's walks. There's a wealth that, you know, it's not just one sort of thing. Oh, you're going to go and talk over a cup of coffee. Well, actually, I don't really like that, but I enjoy a film, or I enjoy the sports, or a walk outside. There is something for everybody to involve everybody.
There is, and that's something that we would discuss as dementia advisors in our contact that we have with individuals. Is, what do you enjoy doing? You know, is our approach is a holistic approach. We look at the person, what they like, what they dislike, and then we can provide that information on what support is best for them. Then, you know, if we know they don't like sitting in a group, or they don't want to play bingo, they'd rather go out walking, then we can advise on the different groups, and obviously get in contact with Cherry then from PAVs, who's got the information and runs those groups then.
That's fantastic. And for those that might be concerned or already have a diagnosis but might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, just remind us again what services you support and how they can access those services.
They can access our services. We've got a website which has a plethora of information on. You can also contact us by telephone. We have our main number. We also have a Welsh line as well. So if somebody wants to communicate through the medium of Welsh, then we have Welsh-speaking dementia advisors that they can make contact with. And we also have an email. So if people prefer to make contact via email, is what suits them.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kirsty, for joining us here this morning as we're, well, sadly, nearing the ending of Dementia Week. It's been so insightful learning about these different services available. Toby was talking to the Torch Theatre yesterday about the Cradle Choir. We've had Age Dyfed come on as well, or Age Cymru, the Dyfed branch, talk to us as well. And it's just been fantastic, Gina, to open our eyes to what is available.
Yeah. And there's something for everyone, and the help is there. And I said it again, the beginning of the week, please don't feel on your own, because the support is out there.
It is. And I encourage anyone to make contact with us, even if they haven't got that diagnosis, if they're worried about their diagnosis, to please get in touch.
Yeah. And well, you've just heard the information there from Kirsty. You can listen back to this either on our social media, where we've been live broadcasting as well, or on the catch up at puristradio.com. And we're going to have Call Me from Blondie, which I thought was quite apt, considering that you're offering services at the end of the phone as well. Kirsty, thank you so much for your time. And I hope that there's been a positive response to everyone that's impacted by the disease, and that they're using your resources. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Tom and Gina. That's great. You both take care. Thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome. Gina, unscramble. Look at the time.
Oh, it has now closed. We'll be finding out if you've got a place in that main prize draw at the end of the month.
Here's Blondie. Call Me for you here on Pure West Radio.